case you needed a little bit of help on them and you didn't and you weren't able to do it on your own, let's just go ahead and take a look at these last four. So when we're taking a look at a kite, remember when we have when the angles are sandwiched between the two different side lengths like they are here, this angle, oops, all right, there we go. This angle right here is congruent to that angle right there. So this angle is also 121. Well, let's remember what we know about a quadrilateral. Well, there's four sides. So since there's four sides, it needs to add up to 360 degrees. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at that. So we have 73, come on, 73 plus 121 plus 121 plus whatever this angle is, and all of that needs to add up to 360. So let's go and solve that for x. So all of those add up to 315 plus x is equal to 360. So now we need to solve that for 300 or for x. So what we're going to do is we're going to subtract 315 from both sides. And then we get that x is equal to 360 minus 315, which is 45. Okay, so this is your final answer for number 6. Let's take a look at the work on number 7. Okay, so for number 7, we know that it's a kite. So since we know that it's a kite, we know that the diagonals are perpendicular. Okay, so it wants us to find the length of NP. Well, NP is congruent to NM. Conveniently, NM is pretty easy to find. Okay, so what I have right here is a right triangle. This is 6, and this is 8. And I don't know NM, but I do know that this right here is a right angle because the diagonals are perpendicular. So that's my hypotenuse. So 6 squared plus 8 squared needs to equal x squared. So 36 plus 64 is equal to x squared. Well, 36 plus 64 is equal to 100. Get rid of that there. Sorry, my computer is really slow today. So we get 100 is equal to x squared. Well, to undo a square, we need to take the square root of both sides. So then we get that x is equal to 10. So NM is equal to 10. Well, NM is congruent to NP, so NP is also 10. Next, let's take a look at FGHJ, this guy right here. So it wants us to find FGGFJ. Well, these two angles are not congruent. And remember, a kite has exactly one pair of congruent angles. So that means that these two angles here have to be congruent. So they also have to add to 360 because all quadrilaterals add to 360. So we have x plus 128 plus 72 is equal to 360. So x plus x is 2x. 128 plus 72 is 200, and that's equal to 360. So now we need to solve this for x. So I'm going to start by subtracting 200 from both sides, and I get that 2x is equal to 160. And now, last but not least, to solve for x, there should be an equal sign there, I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And then I get that x is equal to 80. So x is equal to 80. Next, let's go ahead and let's figure this one out. It wants us to find zy. Well, I notice that right here I'm going to have a right triangle because, again, those diagonals are perpendicular. So let's write that out. So I have 8 and I have 24. And this right here is a right angle. So that makes x my hypotenuse. Since x is my hypotenuse, 8 squared plus 24 squared needs to equal x squared. So let's go through and let's solve this for x. So then we get 8 squared is 64, 24 squared is 576, and that's equal to x squared. So then we get that, oops, there we go. So then we get 640 is equal to x squared. Well, to get the square root, or to get rid of that square, we need to take the square root of both sides, sorry. So we're going to take the square root of x squared. The square root of x squared is 25.298. Well, typically we put it as 2 decimal points. So we need to look at the third number. Well, the third number is greater than 5, which means I need to round that 9 up. Well, when I round that 9 up, it's actually going to make me round up the 2. So our final answer for that one, oops, this should just be x, not x squared, is 25.30. So hopefully that helped on that last page there, and then if you're ready to go, if everything's filled out, you can go ahead and get your practice sheet. Thanks for listening.